biggest one that's been coming to me in the last sort of 24 hours, which makes sense with this energy shift, is I feel like someone in particular is trying to get my attention, someone that's passed within the past year and a half year that I was very close to, through music, through songs, through interrupting a channeling session I'm having on my iPhone, and this specific song will pop up. I don't know if that's for real or if that's just my higher self trying to get through, but that's my question. Is there a message for me from that person or from some other people that I feel like have been trying, or somebody's been trying to get my attention?
You actually have a physical living little girl around the age of 9 that you've never met that is trying to get your attention. Now, this is going to sound a bit strange and odd to many of you because it's a different sort of concept, but this is happening more and more as we talk about this veil becoming thinner. There's an exchange that's going to start happening amongst those of you that are in living, breathing form on the planet that is stronger than it has been in the past, just as much as the communication between the physical beings on the planet, such as yourselves, to the non-physical beings on the other side of the veil gets stronger. So in this case, you're associating with this communication with somebody who has passed away. And although you have people that have passed away that are continuously communicating with you, what you're picking up on is more of the, let's say, knocking on your door by another human being that is very much alive and well, but struggling in her own right, that doesn't live in your local vicinity. She actually lives on the other side of the planet, but you have been in communication with her in your dreams, but you have not recognized it yet as being a new relationship that is developing. So we'll go into this a little bit further because we understand that there's some confusion, and this is something that applies to many of you, because what is happening, as we talked about, is as your intuitive nature increases, as all of you are working toward a, let's say, an increased awareness of who you are on a holistic level, you're opening up different channels and you're opening up your heart-based center that then reverberates and vibrates out into the world around you. And of course, yes, it goes into the non-physical, but being physical beings, you are particularly exposing yourself in a good way to other beings on the planet, and you are working with each other even though you don't necessarily know this consciously. It's not, you might not necessarily wake up in the morning and realize that you had this dream about this little girl and you're walking down a path and yada yada yada, but as this becomes more, let's say, prominent in your awareness, right now we're bringing it to your awareness, so it will become more in your everyday awareness that perhaps you will start remembering these dreams, but you are working very closely with this little girl on the other side of the planet who is very much in need of the nurturing, loving support that you are offering her. Her love for music is coming through to you in a form of music that you recognize. It's not necessarily the music that she would recognize, but in the cohesion and in the exchange of energy that the two of you are experiencing the idea of music together, and you're associating it with someone or something else because everything is connected, yes?
Yeah.
But from a very, let's say, localized idea, the energy that you're picking up on, the knocking on the door that you're experiencing is primarily from this little girl that you are supporting in your own way. And this is a very important thing for all of you to note, that you don't necessarily have to be consciously aware of the support that you are creating and the support that you are offering to your fellow human beings on the planet, because oftentimes you are doing this without even being aware of it. Is this making sense?
Making very much sense, and I know that it has to be true because I'm getting emotional as soon as you said the music thing. And the dreams have always been a big thing for me. So
And you're a busy dreamer, and those of you that are busy in your dream state sometimes wake up in the morning feeling completely exhausted. Yes.
Yes.
And we encourage you now to take note that you don't necessarily have to feel exhausted. Now that you know that you are able to literally, energetically, for free, fly across the planet in a snap of your fingers and be present in another human being's life for the duration of your sleep while you're sleeping. That's a perfect scenario, yes? It doesn't cost you time, it doesn't cost you energy, it doesn't cost you money to do this. All of you are perfectly capable through your heart-based center, through your intentions to do so, to be supportive to those in need on your planet without necessarily even knowing who you're supporting. But the fun comes in when you begin to recognize these relationships, and as you increase your own energetic vibration, as you increase your own consciousness, as you increase your own intuitive abilities, as you increase your own form of telepathic communications, you will become more aware of when and how and who you are supporting on this planet, and it will become more engaging than just doing it without you recognizing that you're doing it. So there's a playfulness involved here that we encourage all of you to participate in, should it be something that you're wanting to participate in. And in your particular relationship with this little girl who is 9 years old going on 10, part of her culture is very musically inclined. So there, through the idea of music, you were drawn to each other initially from one perspective, but from another perspective, you were drawn to each other because you have known this little girl in other lifetimes, multiple times. So we encourage you to, in your own way, begin to get to know her from a awake, let's say, an awake conscious state. So yes, you're getting to know her through your dream state, through your unconscious state when you're asleep, and when your body is rejuvenating. And while it's rejuvenating, you're contributing to the own rejuvenation of your physical body and your emotional well-being through being of service to this little girl. But in your awake state, and through your meditations and through your desire, you will begin to get to know her by listening to your intuition, by listening to those signs and symbols and those messages that are coming through as you develop this relationship with her. It's just a bit different than what you're accustomed to, because when you're getting to know a new friend that you've met or a coworker that you've met, you have the ability to talk amongst each other. You have the ability to sit and have tea and coffee under normal circumstances and get to know one another. But this is what's unfolding. This is part of the transition. This is part of the evolution. This is part of the change, is beginning to have the ability to tap into the abilities that you already have, all of you, which is to communicate on a telepathic level and to communicate on an energetic level and rely less on the senses that you're accustomed to relying on. Does that help?
That helps a lot. Thank you very much.